Hey there guys, welcome back to the Rogues Guild. Last time we talked finance, we were looking at Advent of the Demon King, so this time we're going to look at the only Rhea cluster set that got a reprint. So let's take a look at the Time Spinning Witch. Alright guys, so Time Spinning Witch on the surface doesn't look any different than what the rest of the Rhea cluster looked like, right? So we had one guaranteed ruler per box. This time though, on the very first print run, for those of you that were not around, all of the rulers were messed up. So the ruler side did not match the J ruler side. Examples are like Keurig was front side ruler, but backside was Sherry for the J ruler, right? So very weird misprints. We launched a whole fix-it campaign where we had to send stuff to Robert, where he sent us back corrected versions, stuff along those lines. Just a huge headache. What happened was a lot of the people in the community actually didn't even send in their cards, so there were still plenty of misprints in circulation, and what that did was that took down the amount of corrected versions, tournament legal versions even, that could be in play. So then at Jeff's request, they ended up doing a second print run. So the second print run of Time Spinning Witch did have the corrected versions of the rulers. So rulers right now, the cheapest ruler that you can pull in a box is $8, and that's Keurig. Then you're about $11 for a Shayla, $19 for a Sherry, I think about the same. Probably $12 for a Sherry, $19 for a Scarlet, and then all the way up to $60 for an Imul if you pull a corrected one. So the rulers here actually maintain value very well. The chase card that they had in the set was a Uber starter rulers, fully awakened. So we, at this point when this released, we had Tigris, Gil, Keurig, and Shayla all fully awakened with their abilities. So what they did was the chase card was an Uber starter. So it was actually pretty cool at the pre-release how many Ubers were being pulled before we figured out that, you know, one Uber was being pulled in every box, or the equivalent of. So I mean, at this point, like, it was pretty cool. But God, they had just printed the starter rulers so many times that having a chase card, by definition, just being something that you already have 7 other copies of different art styles, it's just, at that point you get tired of it. So the chase card here really didn't maintain any value. Gil's down to like $1. Tigris and Shayla are up to $10 though, so you know, there's a little bit of value there. But this is the first set where they decided to double the full art super rares that you're able to pull. Now what this did was, while people were pulling packs, they were looking at this and they were like, oh yeah, look at all this awesome stuff I'm pulling, right? But this is where I first noticed that, you know, as with any equation, right, you only have 36 foils that you can pull in a box, and if you doubled the full art super rares, you took away from somewhere else. And in this case, they took away from the full art rare slot, or they took away from the full art uncommon and the full art common slot. So just by doing that, they actually increased the rarity then of the uncommon slot even further. So this is where all of like Sherry's stories, this is where I first made the move, where I wasn't gonna sell the full art Sherry stories for less than $10, and I held on to them and waited for the market to come to me, and it actually ended up working. I started selling full art Last Days of the Powerless Dragonoids for $10 there right before the ban happened. So this is where we first noticed this, and then they don't actually come off of this. So when you're looking at this set, full art rares are actually the most rare card for unique cards that you pull in this set. So that actually means a lot going forward, because this set was packed full of good cards. So in the super rare slot, you are pulling 8 of the 10 super rares in every box, right? So you're only not going to see 2 of the 10, right? What you're hoping for is you're hoping to see a Lorite, which is currently pulling $11 to $12, a Ruin Story, which is bounced back to $3 to $4 a card, which is fantastic, because as soon as it hit the ban list, she dropped quite a bit. She was less than $1 there for a while, but then as soon as Ruined Story came off of the ban list, she's been tinking back up ever since. And now that Hanzo's taking advantage of her, that card still has quite a bit of value. And then the other two super rares that are pulling value right now is Grim, which currently has Barrier Black and Barrier White. So that is a very effective toolbox card that you can throw into your sideboard to help you out in some of those matchups. And then Ultra Dragon. Ultra Dragon is a very good red card for battling against like mystery box decks or stuff along those lines where they're trying to put in stuff not by playing it from their hand, aka cheating. This is your anti-cheating card for red. It's pretty nice. It really helps in Wanderer if they don't cancel it. It turns off the Umar combos and stuff along those lines. So that was a very good super rare cards. Now, what they did was they absolutely loaded up the rare slot. So not only is the full art rare the most rare card, that is where all of the value is right now. So talking base rare, this set has the only 3 dual stones, quote unquote dual stones, that we have currently in rotation in Magic Stone of Hope, Null Magic Stone, and Speaking Stone. Respectively $11, $11, and $7 a pop right now for base rarity. Magic Stone of Hope is white, flips into white black. Null Stone is black, pay 200 for red, and the Speaking Stone is green or black for stories. So those cards, and the Speaking Stone has Barrier, which really helped against when Time Spinning Witch was trying to do most of sort of stuff. So very good stones, right? Some of the best special stones that in the entire Rhea cluster were in this one set, right? Then outside of that, we had Flourishing Hopes, $8 a pop. We have Lightning Cave, $8 a pop. Scarlet's Agony, $6 a pop. Then we have Gem Mallet, $4. Rachel, $3. Piggy, $2.50. Separation of Fates, $3. Heaven Sundering Dragon Palm, $2.50. Like these rares, like these are staple rares, staple white, staple red, staple green cards that were all packed into this set. And then even white got the uncommon Angel of Hope, which currently base rare is pulling $4.50, and a common card in Miscalc. And Miscalc is a white staple, currently close to $1 a card. So as you can imagine, as you can see with all of these powerful cards that we have in this set, you can understand why there was such a demand for that second print run, right? But what I didn't expect to see happen is that we absorbed the second print run, and the prices are still high. When they announced that a second print run was coming, I was actually a little suspicious how well these cards were going to maintain value, but boxes are currently selling for $109 a pop, right? But to back up this price, if you went base rarity and one of every card that I listed, that's $89. $89, not including whatever ruler that you end up pulling, right? Which I said was anywhere from $8 to $60. So, like, again, this is where we're talking about where, like, when you're going to look at boxes, this is where the risk is. Like, all of this money is almost guaranteed, right? I mean, obviously the cards have to sell, but this is the value that you're guaranteed going to see in this box, right? You're going to see one of each of those cards at least, unless you strike out and you don't see the Lorite, or like really that's the only way you can strike out. Like if you don't see Grim, Ultra Dragon, or the Ruined Story, like, ooh, you're out $2, right? You're at 87. But like that amount of guaranteed value, just sticker price value that you're going to pull in this box, and that doesn't include the 36 full arts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these boxes, like the cards in this box, are worth the box price, absolutely, and that's why it's gotten as high as it has. Now there is not a lot in circulation anymore. I believe what has happened is some of these stores have realized that this set is where the money is, and they've opened up all of these boxes, right? So when you're looking on TCG Player, what you'll find is stores like BK Wasteland, right? So what ends up happening is a store like BK Wasteland, or a company, distributor, whoever they are, they open up all these boxes and they list them all, and it's like this huge quantity number on the side, right? And the way that I view it is it's like a benchmark. So BK Wasteland says this card is $5, and they put 20 cards on it, $5, boom. And then the rest of us, right, the rest of us small timers, we're always like, I'll sell you one for like $4.99, or I'll sell you one for $4.50, and we just kind of fight each other. But there's only like 4 or 5 copies before you get to BK, right? So BK has set themselves up there to be the last sale before stock out, right? So like when I see TCG Player, and especially when in this set, when I was just looking it up, BK Wasteland has a lot of quantity on higher value cards, and they have it stuck there. They're not chasing a bottom because they know that the demand is there and the supply is low. Odds are because they ate the supply themselves. So very interesting concept there. Time Spinning Witch is only the second set after Alice Cluster to get a second print run and eat through it entirely. So not only was it the only two to get print runs, but both of them ate through it. And the other one was Legacy Lost. So for those of us that go back to Legacy Lost, there was a second print run on that, and that set was fire. It had Lumia, it had Fox, it had your Griffins, it had Valentina, I think 3.0 at that point is what she was. Like, the deck, or the set, was fire, right? And it, because of all the power that was in that set, right, it survived a second print run. Like, only after rotation does that stuff come down any to a reasonable level, right? But even some of those cards are still maintaining quite a bit of value. So now put yourself into Force of Will's shoes, right? I've seen it in comments before when they're like, hey, you know, how do we feel about, you know, going forward as a company? Maybe we need to beef up these sets. Maybe we need to throw broken cards in, and that'll sell. And some of us are in the community are like, no, you're not gonna sell. That'll break the game, like all this shit. History shows that if you print Lumia, Fox, Soul, you get 2 print runs and you sell out of everything. If you print Sherry, Imel, Scarlet, Lorite, you get 2 print runs and you sell out of everything. So, like, the community says one thing. They're just like, oh yeah, we don't buy broken cards, but like, the data says otherwise. Like, I want to make that clear. So like, I understand there are other variables. I do this stuff for a living. I am an engineer, so I know that there's other stuff. When you're looking at Legacy Lost, I know that there was a lot of fun to be had with Soul. I know that there was a lot of fun to be had with Lumia. It wasn't just that Lumia was broken with Captain Hook or anything along those lines. It wasn't just that Fox was broken. It was the fact that you had a side deck, right? Those 3 rulers, Soul, Imel, and Fox, they were just fun decks, even outside of the spike mentality of, I'm going to try to break this game, right? Those were fun decks. The set was fun, okay? Fast forward to Time Spinning Witch. Time Spinning Witch was fun. Imel was a really fun ruler. Like, even though she never really hit like that level in GP competitive play that we needed to like really put value on anything, she was a fan service. She did cool things. You could build so many decks with her as a core, the same way that we had with Lumia. It was like, you could build so many decks with Lumia. So like, also Scarlet was like a fun aggro deck that was easy to like pitch your hand and flip and just like try to do things with her. Like, these were fun to. And Sherry, there's a handful, probably more than would like to admit, Sherry was a fun deck. The concept of having the stories and the quick cast dolls and like the flow of that deck felt good. It was a very good deck. Outside of even just the spiky competitive mindset, right? So there's that variable too. I think they were just really good sets. You know what I mean? So it's not only the broken cards. It's what's fun as well, right? You know, that's the way that I would look at it. But I just wanted to tell you guys, because that's something you guys got to think about. Like, this is what the company sees. Like, you are the market. When they print broken shit in the past, we've ate it up. As a community, we've ate it up. There's nothing left to be had. We ate all of it. So think about that going forward. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is I got my promos in, right? So I was VIP in August, but I didn't make it back up to VIP for the second go around. So I actually didn't get all 5. It's very interesting. I'm missing Adam. That sucks, because based on the original communication, I thought if you were VIP, you would be VIP again. Not the case. But something that probably does need to be discussed, guys. They didn't send duplicates this time. Okay? That means that there is at least half of the amount of cards in circulation than there was before. Right? All the VIPs don't have duplicates. All the VIPs aren't just rushing out there to sell it. If you look on TCG, or if you look on Marketplace right now, you will find more people wanting to buy these rainbow rulers than trying to sell these rainbow rulers. That means that these should, in theory, be more than $25 a pop, right? So you guys remember last time when I went and we got our rulers, I said that I was going to be very patient with my rulers. I'm not going to chase a bottom with these things because I see them as a $24 or a $25 card. And I did all the math back in episode 1, right? So you guys can go back and check that out. But my patience paid off. I sold Isis, Loki, and Lich all at my $32.90 whatever cent, right? Because the fees and all that got me to net $25 in my pocket, right? I sold 3 of them at that. Chamimi is the only one that has not sold at that price yet, and the market is flooded with the old Chamimis. But did you guys see that Master Rune? Did you guys see that Master Rune? I got a feeling Chamimi's gonna sell. Okay, so I'm totally not worried about it. The price that I told you guys back before, I still think it's there. Those, with the way they printed them and everything, I believe those are $25 rulers. These are a little different. These are a lot different, and at least half. So like if you take supply being down the way that it is, but these are not as receptive to the community. Like, the community loved the alternate arts, absolutely loved them. I didn't see one person talk crap about the alternate arts. And then everybody receives these rainbows and they're like, nah man, I don't want anything to do with these rainbows. Like I don't get that. Like, you got free cards, like shut up and be happy. B though, like there's like no supply or lower supply, a little bit lower demand, but not too much. Like, people are still wanting to buy these. I would say these are $40 cards. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. Like, it's not double the price, right? Like, half the supply, double the price, right? But because of demand, I still think they're $40 cards. My personal opinion, I do not like the look of the rainbow rulers that they tried to do. I believe that Pokemon does the rainbow rulers better. I've seen them before and they looked really cool. I don't buy Pokemon cards, but when I saw the rainbow Pokemon, I was just like, ooh, that's cute looking, that's wonderful, that would be an awesome energized token or some crap like that. It looked good, it was aesthetically appealing. I believe that there were some things that they messed up on these, and they're not the best. They're absolutely not the best. I'm missing Adam. I'm gonna have to go buy Adam though. Like, you see what I mean? Like, even though I don't want it, they sent me 4 of them and I need the 5th. But the way I manage my collection is, like, I have the most promoed version of whatever ruler that I end up getting my hands on, right? So I don't seek these things, but when they come into my collection is what I have to do, right? So like I will actually be looking to trade straight up anybody that has an Atom. I will trade you my Lucifer, and we will just do a one-on-one trade, and I'll be happy, and my 4 rainbow rulers will not be on the market. They will be in my collection. And there's a lot of people that are going to be like that. They're just going to take the whatever they receive, put it in their collection, and you won't see it in the market. That means that these are more expensive. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say. Oh, actually, one last thing. Think about it from a company perspective here, right? So they didn't communicate any of this with you, right? And they sent it to you for free. What they're probably going to do is they're probably going to gauge the community reaction to this. What they're going to see is that we as a community did not appreciate this rainbow art so much, right? So what we might have actually just done is we might have saved ourselves from a shitty chase card. That's a possibility, right? If you had an opportunity to send out free cards to people and judge whether or not they liked it or not, that would be it. And that's what I would do with that data. So like, there's a potential that this rainbow foiling was something that they were going to try to put as a chase card. And if they tried to have done that, we'd have probably not been happy. It wouldn't have looked good. And we've been guaranteeing one a box, and it wouldn't have maintained value. And we're back to 80k chase cards where they suck. So glad that they made this move. Hopefully they kind of see that it wasn't so receptive, and they either try to fix the rainbow to where they don't color identify each one so much and just put the straight rainbow foil on all of them, right? Maybe they try to fix it that way, or maybe they move on, try something else. I will say though, props Forza Wilco, thank you very much for following up with this and actually sending them out. I realized that you didn't give me any notice and you didn't tell me what was coming. That's what I'm used to, but I appreciate you for giving them to me anyway, and I just wanted to say that. Last thing I wanted to do is, since I covered what I did with the promos last time when I told you guys what price, what to do, and all that stuff. I wanted to go over a quick little history on my investment stuff. So this worked out last time when I sold my WPR. I've sold every one except for the Chimimi, and I imagine that it will sell. So we're 75% correct there, about to be 100%. Before that though, like everything that I've ever bought has been collections, and I've had 100% return on all my collections. I've never lost money on any of them, right? So then when I started this channel and we started talking about booster boxes, I decided to buy an Ancient Knights booster box when I saw the price go to where it was. I did a box opening video. You guys will see that here soon, so whenever that video comes out, right? But that was something that was outside of my comfort zone. It's something that I haven't done before. I won't spoil whether or not that paid off or didn't. You guys will have to watch that video. But then I also, as I told you guys in a couple other videos, I made the singles move on the market where I bought out all of those full arts from the last set, right? All the things that I said, you know, whatever. I went in the hole on that $130. To this point, I have only sold 4 full art messengers. Okay, and I only sold those right before Vegas, and those were at $10 a pop, so that was 40 bucks. So I'm still like 90 bucks in the hole on that singles investment. It might not work out, but I'm not faltering. Okay, so what ended up happening, right, is March of the Dead is currently 1 card listed in front of me until it gets to my price. Okay, so what ended up happening is when I reset the market, like the market flooded back, right? It was at a higher set point, but they were chasing a bottom. So a lot of these cards ended up seeing like $5, $4 lows, but it's starting to come back up to me, right? So I'm kind of the BK wasteland for this stuff. I said, I have the most quantity, this is what it's worth. And then I'm letting everybody else just kind of fight until it gets to where like they have to come to me, right? So this is a patient game. I might get stuck with the bill. I might get stuck with a $90 bill. You know, that's the way it goes when you're kind of manipulating the market like this. March Air, 2 copies, 2 cards currently listed underneath my price of $9.99. 6 Jizo statues. I did follow the low on this. Okay, I haven't sold a single one, but my listings are down with the $6.50 range that everybody else is at. The reason why I did this was after Vegas and after testing and everything, I'm starting to think that Jizos might be a little slow. And currently, they are at the forefront of everybody's mind when it comes to teching. So I wasn't as confident sitting on like 16 copies of that, waiting for everyone to buy it at $10, right? Plus, the market flooded with a lot more Jizos than they did with the other cards. Couldn't tell you why. Maybe because everybody knew it was a good card going forward. But so I did. I'm down there. Whatever. If I sell those for the lower price, it is what it is. I'm not going to go back up to $10 on the Jizo statue. But it is still $6, above $6. So I did quadruple the original price from what I bought them from, so the price reset's still good. It's just not the $10 that I put it at. Power of Immortality, 3 copies currently before my $8.99 price. I came down $1 on that because it's a room deck card. Everyone's gonna run one, right? So everybody's got to have one. So the demand on it isn't as high as the other cards. Messenger of the Sun. Probably my biggest question mark right now. I do not understand why there are so many in circulation. So like, it is a common, and I understand that there's more in circulation than there is of the uncommons, right? But March of the Dead is also common. So when I look at the kind of meta and what people in America really like to play, everyone's really kind of on black. The reanimation in black is fun. So I think a lot of local players are even drawn to those kinds of decks. The white decks right now are kind of getting poo-pooed on. And I believe that is why Messenger of the Sun is as low as it is. I mean, it's selling for $4 a card right now. And I'm still at $10. There are 15 copies before it gets to my $10 mark, and I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay there because I know that white is gonna get that spirit rampy, like sack for 3 will card, and I think white's gonna get pretty bonkers. So in anticipation of the next set, I am going to stay at that $10 range, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get some heat on there with some spoilers. Everyone wants to jump on white and go. I know that the Adam Master Rune kind of sucks, so not too much excitement there. But the Tree Sprout, that's a good card, and so we'll see what happens. So singles investment, not so much. Box is a question mark. You guys will have to watch the video to find out. Collections, still 100% return on all those. So, the last thing that I did was, it happened about 2 weeks ago, I did another buyout on a single card. So as you guys are watching these spoilers coming out, if you're watching me, you're thinking about finance, right? You're thinking about it, it's in the back of your mind. As you're watching these spoilers, start to think, what cards in the past would really benefit from for these cards that are coming forward, right? So if any of you guys saw the mill 10 cards from the top of your deck card, you guys probably should have thought that Disgrace Knight is probably going to be a really good card going forward. So I bought all of the Disgrace Knights. I have 12 copies. I bought them all for less than $2 a pop, and it's sold out. I'm the only lister, and we're going $10, just like we did with the other ones. So I'm just digging even deeper of a hole for single stuff. But I believe in it. I believe in it. This is what these cards should be worth, and especially on the full art standard of how rare these cards are. And if you want to build full art decks, this is kind of where we should be as a market. So let me know what you guys think. I think we've got one more. Yeah, we're gonna do Winds of the Ominous Moon. Then we're gonna probably be right in time for the set release. I plan on releasing something for patrons only right before set release, where I kind of talk about what taking advantage of the low prices of pre-sales, when no one really assigns a value to a card based on how good it is. They just have this arbitrary common, uncommon, rare, and what kind of manipulations you can do and how you can get ahead based on your understanding of the game and stuff along those lines. So we'll talk about that in detail for the set coming up. I would say, guys, hang tight, be strong. We've gotten a couple good signs from the company right now. The company hasn't reached out to us and done what they normally do, but I'd say these promos are a really good sign. Like, if the company wanted to go belly up, they wouldn't have sent us these promos, right? If they just wanted to run out these last 2 sets and get the most amount of money that they could, they'd have printed some broken ass cards, we'd have bought a bunch of booster boxes, we'd have had fun for 6 months, and they'd have walked out the door with all the money. Sending us these promos, I think that's a good sign. Keeping what they did keep of the GP season, I think that's a good sign. So I plan on riding this out. I don't plan on stopping my financial side of this. I will still buy what I buy. I will still be buying collections. I think right now is a pretty good time to buy collections because people are spooked. So if you are buying collections, make sure that you are buying collections that are heavy in the new stuff. So Strangers of New Valhalla and New Dawn Rises, because in 3 months, I would say 3-4 months, you're going to start to see a decline in all of the Ray Cluster stuff. So right now we still have 2 sets coming, a lot of hype, and everything we still need those old cards, right? But in 4 months, we're not going to need the old cards anymore. We'll know what all the new cards are. Nothing new will spook us. Everything will start to decline at that point, right? So make sure that when you're buying collections that they're kind of heavy in the new stuff, okay? Try to stay away from the old stuff. Alright, I've rambled on forever. Sorry, I hadn't done one in a while, so I wanted to spew a bunch of stuff out to you. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate everything that you guys do. I appreciate that you guys come by, stop, and watch us and support us, and we'll see you guys next time.